Hi, people of the Philippines and people of the world. Hit the button below. And you will be subscribing to the Boy Abunda Talk channel on YouTube. Let's keep talking.
Infinite Monkeys and the Boy Abunda Talk channel, in partnership with Lani Abunda Amasa, Thor P. Santos, Michael Alan Sikat, Boy Abunda, and Boy So present.
Legalization of marijuana, marriage, yes or no, divorce, yes or no. Mahalaga ba ang pagsali sa debate? Isang kandidato sa Senate or Senatorial? Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Welcome to Fast Talk Plus and Why with our 2022 Senatorial candidates. Ang ating panauhin po, Harry Roque. Harry, maraming salamat.
Thank you too, Tito Boy, and it's been a while. I miss you.
Kumusta ang buhay kampanya?
Excellent. I was bored to campaign. I love every minute of it. And now that mag-i-election na, iniisip ko, what will I do the day after elections? But I love it. Normally, people complain that it's tiring. To me, it's not a chore. Talagang, I love every minute of it and I want more.
Sa dami-dami ng aking mga nakausap, ngayong eleksyon and the previous elections, he was the first one to have said, I was born to campaign.
That's true.
Masaya ka talaga?
Masaya ako because,
Go ahead.
well, number one, when you speak, you really want to communicate. And when you communicate to a crowd, you better do it well because otherwise, people will fall asleep. No? So it's a challenge. How do you get the people's attention without sacrificing your content? And to me, that's the ultimate challenge.
May kinalaman ba ito dun sa iyong sayaw?
Of course, may kinalaman yan. Because if I'm going to talk about the things that I want to do as a law professor and as a lawyer, people will sleep. But as soon as I have their attention and you speak in a manner na naintindihan nila, they get the message.
You are up against 63 other candidates. What are your chances, Harry?
Well, I think mine is as good as anyone else's. I'm not dreaming to be top-notcher, but I think because I'm able to communicate with the people, they know that their vote will not be wasted because I will work, I will make policies, I will make laws that will change the Philippines to become a better country.
What separates you from the others?
I know my law. From everyone running, I'm the only one who taught law for 15 years full-time here in Singapore and in the United States. I use law para bigyan ng katarungan yung mga inaapit sa lipunan, Maguindanao Massacre victims, Jennifer Laude, mga journalists prosecuted for libel. And I have a track record as a legislator. No? Universal healthcare, free irrigation, free Wi-Fi, AIDS law, anti-hazing law, Balik Scientist program. All that are my laws. No? I was principal authors of these laws. So I know my law, I've taught it, I used it for justice, and I used it to make policies for a better Philippines.
Maraming salamat. Umpisa na natin ang ating Fast Talk. Isabong, suspend or continue? Bakit?
Continue 621 million in taxes at a time when we're still dealing with the pandemic and with soaring prices of commodities. We need the ayuda. And without taxes, without money revenues from Isabong, no ayudas.
Wealth tax or digital tax, and why?
Well, I want wealth tax. I think the only way to more or less promote social justice is those who earn more should pay more taxes.
Legalize or criminalize abortion, and why?
Impossible to legalize it. Section 11, Article 12 says that the Philippines shall protect the life of the mother as well as the unborn child. So we have a constitutional prohibition against abortion. It can never be legal.
Are you for or against lowering the age of criminal responsibility? Why?
Against. I voted against it in Congress. And I think it's because wala namang bata na pinanganak na masama ang budhi. It's all a function of brain development. Train a child well at the right time, and he will turn out to be a decent human being.
Anti-terrorism law needs to be amended. Agree or disagree, and why?
Obviously, the court struck down the provision on the basis of violation of freedom of expression. No? So it has to be amended because that part of the law was already declared unconstitutional.
Are you for or against political dynasty, and why?
Definitely against, because I don't think there should be a franchise on who should lead the country.
As a country, should we lean more towards China or America? Why?
Only in favor of the Philippines, depending on our national interest.
Open pit mining or in situ mining, and why?
I've seen in situ mining, and in situ mining can be done in a responsible manner because you can restore the status quo ante. After you get the minerals that you want, you can restore it to what it was before, and you can also plant trees and reforest.
Good manners and right conduct or ROTC?
Good manners and right conduct. No? I think people should have the option to enter the military. I don't think there should be compulsory recruitment into the armed forces.
Legalize wetting? Agree or disagree, and why?
It is for all intents and purposes legalized. That's why we have STL.
Commission on Appointments or Committee on Finance?
I think there's a reason why the Constitution provided for the Commission on Appointments. We have to screen the capability of all cabinet members, and all the positions that the Constitution specify should be screened by the Commission on Appointments.
Pork barrel, good, bad?
Bad.
Why?
Corruption. Meron po talagang kickback ang mga politiko sa pork barrel.
Pwede pa bang bumaba ang buwis ng mga empleyado? Oo, hindi, at bakit?
Yes, if you follow the example of Singapore and Hong Kong with 3% taxation, pwedeng gawin. But the trade-off is napakataas naman ng VAT. So we have to be very careful in our choice. Less personal income, but more expensive prices of everything because everything will be subject to value-added tax.
Dapat bang college graduate ang isang senador o mambabatas? Oo, hindi, at bakit?
Oo, kasi ang hinahalal ng tao, yung tao, hindi ang kanyang staff. So, hindi halal ng tao yung mga researchers. Dapat ihalal yung mga may vision kung anong dapat na pulisiya na buuin, at tingin ko kinakailan ng college graduate dyan dahil marami mga bagay-bagay na dapat ikonsidera in forming of policies. I know it is not a requirement under the law, but I think it should be once and for all.
Mahalaga ba ang pagsali sa debate ng isang kandidato sa eleksyon? Yes or no, and why?
Kung gaya ko na hindi nangangalampag sa survey, oo. Kasi yan yung ultimate way na mapapakita mong kakayahan mo para umakyat ka sa surveys at magkaroon ng mas malaking tsansa na manalo. Kung ikay nangangalampag, you can only go down.
Do you believe that there were extrajudicial killings during the war on drugs? Oo, hindi, at bakit?
Oo, because there's been convictions. And that is what is important. Kapag merong napatay extrajudicially, you should accord the victims an adequate domestic remedy. That's our obligation under the right to protect and promote the right to life.
BOC is believed to be the most corrupt agency. What will you do and why?
Full computerization. Because alam naman natin, as Gardner Myrdal, the Nobel Prize awardee, said, corruption is because of discretion given to government officials. Remove that discretion, you minimize corruption.
Should churches actively campaign in times of elections?
Yes, because even churches have freedom of speech. You cannot deprive them of freedom of speech.
Papapasukin mo ba sa bahay mo ang isang taong hindi bakunado? Bakit?
Yes, because I'm fully vaccinated. Every member of my household is fully vaccinated, including booster shots. We're protected.
Peace talks with the Communist Party of the Philippines, New People's Army, National Democratic Front, agree or disagree, and why?
Disagree. Kasi ang track record ng NPA, ginagamit lang nilang peace talks to rearm, to raise their finances, and to the opportunity to regroup and attack the government again.
May ipin ba ang Blue Ribbon Committee ng Senado? Yes or no? Why?
Yes, because the ultimate fiscalizer is public opinion. And I think when the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hears an issue publicly, they're appealing to the court of public opinion.
Pag ikay pinalad manalo bilang senador, would you want to be Senate President? Yes or no, and why?
Yes, because I want to be the one to establish the legislative agenda.
Freedom of speech and press freedom come with the power to invent fake news. Agree or disagree? Why?
Agree, because the Constitution says there should be no law abridging freedom of speech. Hindi naman sinasabi that the prohibition is against fake news. people eventually have the faculty to decipher the truth from the untruth. Wika nga na isang kaso, the true test of truth is the power of an idea to be accepted in the free marketplace of ideas.
Tama ba o hindi? Ang kasalukuyang proseso na ang justices and judges are selected and appointed by the JBC and the President of the Philippines. Why?
I prefer this compared to what they do in the United States, which is Senate confirmation. Kasi dapat yung nagve-vet, hindi mga politiko. Otherwise, maging creatures of politicians, yung mga West, na inaasahan natin magiging patas.
As Senator, what would you do to mitigate climate change and why?
Unang-una, kinakailangan po nating ng batas na nagbabawal na talaga ng coal at iba pang mga sources of energy na makakadagdag doon sa fuel yung ating emission. No? Pangalawa po, by way of mitigation, kinakailangan natin ng dams. We need to perfect the dams because our islands are sinking and we're, I think, the third or the fourth most prone to loss of territory because of climate change. We need to learn from Holland. We need to protect our land territory by building dams and other mitigating structures.
In the 19th Congress, your first privileged speech, what is it about and why?
I will defend myself from those who called me a war criminal.
Should social media be regulated or censored and why?
Well, according to a decision of the U.S. Supreme Court, no, social media is entitled to full protection of freedom of the press. So whatever rights newspapers have should be accorded also to social media. Full protection.
Do you dream of becoming president of the Republic of the Philippines? Why?
I think anyone who is a politician does. It's a lie if they say they don't. Because you will not run and offer your services to the people if you are not sure that you can in fact do something to improve the plight of the country. I think I have the knowledge, the capability, and the political will to change this country for the better.
If you had the power to fire someone today in government, who would this be and why?
Giran of PhilHealth. He's been a disappointment. I was expecting him to clean up PhilHealth because that agency implements my pet law in Congress, universal health care. He has not fired even a single person.
Harry, you're a public servant, you're a child of God, you're a son, you're a husband, you're a brother. Who are you first and why?
I think I'm a son of God because my conviction that I should be of service to the people is also because I believe that Christians should follow what is provided in the Bible, and that is to give food to the hungry, clothes to the naked, and home to the homeless.
That ends our political fast talk. Maraming
you.
salamat, Harry. Ngayon naman tayo ay magkatuwaan.
Okay.
Lights on or lights off and why?
Lights off
Bakit?
so you can explore.
Best time for sex and why?
Always nighttime because that's when you relax, and best sex is when you're relaxed.
You're up against 63 other candidates running for the Senate. Kung pipili ka ng isa na isasama mo sa langit, sino ito at bakit?
Mark Villar. The guy is really a nice guy. And I like him.
Kung meron ka namang hihilain para isama sa impyerno, sino ito at bakit?
Risa Ontiveros.
Bakit?
I think she's full of double talk.
Yes or no, does size matter and why?
No, it's the technique.
Harry, sex or Wi-Fi?
Sex! Oh my
Sex or
gosh.
chocolates?
Hirap sagutin. I think it's sex.
Sex or Senado?
Senado!
You're at the pearly gates and God is there. At tatanungin ka, Harry, my son, ano ang pinakamagandang bagay na ginawa mo para sa akin? What will you tell him and why?
I gave my all to achieve change in society. I passed universal healthcare law sa panahon na 7 sa 10 Pilipino ay namamatay na lamang dahil sa kahirapan at hindi nakakakita ng anino man lang ng doktor. No? I think if only because of universal healthcare, God will declare, I've done my mission on earth.
Maraming salamat.
Salamat.
Mabuhay
Tito
ka.
Boy.
God bless you.
Maraming salamat po.
Sponsored by Jonathan So and Carl Macadandang of Tok Tok and Siomai King, Mario Theros of Ultra Fit Coffee, and Boy So of La Carmela de Boracay.
Hi, people of the Philippines and people of the world. Hit the button below. And you will be subscribing to the Boy Abunda Talk channel on YouTube. Let's keep talking.